how do you estimate the cost of something that you haven't observed? If we try to lay that out in a minute or two.
Sure. Again, it's always a case if you have more data than you think and you need less than you think. So if we haven't observed something yet, we actually, one of the things we're adding in the second edition is something called Laplace's Rule of Succession.
Okay.
Very simple, couldn't be simpler. One of the simplest risk equations you'll ever see. So I ask somebody, how long have you worked there? They say 8 years. I say, have you seen this event yet in 8 years? No. Now, if that were my only source of information, if that's all I knew, literally, and I made a very conservative assumption about their prior state of uncertainty, and all I knew were those 8 years of individual observations, the chance of that event happening the next year is 10%.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually, it makes sense that that would be the case. There's a rule for that. We know that it's always possible that something that hasn't happened yet could still happen. So the first quick estimate would be Laplace's Rule of Succession. It's a very simple little formula.
Yeah.
Do it on a calculator. For small numbers like I just did, you can do it in your head. So
Right.
it's not
Right.
that hard. For other situations though, what I might want to do is I say, well, if 10% sounds too high or too low for this situation, just because you haven't seen it in your experience, it's probably because you have a different reference class. So I started out with the reference class of your own immediate experience at that organization. But you probably also knew something about the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you knew that there's a recent trend that this event is more frequent in the last year or two than it was the previous 6 years or so.
Right.
But you're keeping track of this in the industry. Well, how about instead of looking back 8 years, I look back just 2, but instead of looking at one company, I look at 10 or 100. If I looked at 100 companies, now I have 200 company years of observations.
Right.
And if it happened twice out of 200 company years, it's almost 1%, not quite, it turns out.